Good evening, Dr. Chen. I'm going to be doing my 5W1H presentation on 3D printing. So to begin with, what is 3D printing? A primer on three-dimensional printing. 3D printing is defined as the digital form of creating physical things by applying small levels of materials alongside each other and having them fuse together. 3D printing has become increasingly popular due to the nifty use of creating decorations and general fun items. I know, for example, that I have a couple friends in my old middle school actually has been able to 3D print many different devices, even going to a Batman Batarang, which is the general fun devices or items that I'm referencing now. But as of late, 3D printing has garnered a new set of attentive populace by adding new printable material into the space, such as food, wearable items, and even tools. So in class, we even seen a restaurant that's going to full 3D printing and 3D printing their steak, which is absolutely crazy. But it is the innovative new mindset of the trend. 3D printing gives you a lot of availability to create something from basically out of nowhere. And in doing so, you can open the window to more creations. As mentioned here, wearable items. You could even get clothes or even tools. Imagine having a hammer when you don't have one, be put into your disposal for quick use. So, who is using 3D printing? Well, 3D printing in Germany is heavily used by students and enthusiasts. As we've seen in class, a group of students actually made the first 3D printed house. It took about 8 months to build, and it was just 1,000 square feet. Absolutely crazy. But in that simple innovation, it just shows the ability to look ahead and try new things and try to push the boundaries of what to expect. Because maybe in 50 years, 3D printing is completely used to make an entire neighborhood, and it could be made in less than a month, maybe. And that can completely automate the construction process, make a lot more things used for putting hands to other uses, something that couldn't be so easy, such as wood, maybe. So, why are they using 3D printing? Well, first reason could be to create and automate many tasks that would otherwise take a calculation of human labor and cost, which is extremely serious. When you need to make a house, it's basically a minimum now of being around 150, $200,000 in the most cheap metropolitan city urban area. And two could be the increase of people using 3D materials and appliances. Just in general, students and colleges and many children are starting to learn about 3D printing, and learning that they can print out their favorite toy, one of their favorite characters, is one of the reasons that 3D printing is in huge use as of now. So, where's 3D printing being used? Well, it's being used in high commercial areas such as schools and private companies. It gives many of the opportunity to automate and find profitable trends that can easily be achieved due to the strength of 3D printing. One thing we even talked about in class as well is that even some airplanes have 3D printing functions in them, such as the parts of the engine, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But it's real. Private companies are doing this because they realize they can save a lot on a lot of costs and a lot of resources, and in doing so, they still open the door to make things themselves, make the manufacturing and distribution themselves, and minimize a lot of costs. So, when is it being used? Well, it's used majority of the time for recreational use. Many of the reasons to utilize 3D printing can also look back to medicinal review, as maybe certain graphs or requests may give a better 3D insight as to what we're dealing with. And here's some reasons. So, medical assistance to be as quick and accurate as possible. Maybe there can be someone that needs a specific tool, maybe something in relation to an organ, maybe see an anatomical part that wouldn't be otherwise easy to see with a regular skeleton. 3D printing can help do that and have things readily available and accessible, and also delivering important physical tools to those who need it. What if at the time you may need a scalpel to get you out of certain situations, or maybe for the army, can 3D print a lot of the tools that they use as medics. So this is one of the reasons that 3D printing is being used. And how can 3D printing help solve SDG issues? Well, enhanced automation. This 3D printing is being used by Germany in many different ways, but the standard will be to include heavy machinery and more transportation devices, as we've seen the example of the airplane and different car companies 3D printing. Well, it can just absolutely change the way we look at automation by having absolute robots do a lot of the things that humans are used to doing, and minimizing a lot of physical labor, a lot of costs, and giving more people the possibility to minimize the room for error and maximize profits. So here's my two truths, one lie about 3D printing, which is fact and which is false. So 3D printers can use many types of ink, even creating food. App State has its own set of 3D printers, and 3D printers cannot print anything outside of handheld appliances and definitely not a house. And that is it for my 3D presentation. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.